Welcome to the online class, my dear students. Today we are going to write a C++ program using the concept called classes and objects. This is our first C++ program using classes and object concept. Means in the last year we written so many C++ programs, we discussed so many topics on C++, we written so many programs on C++, but we are not written any single program using the concept called classes and object. For the second year we are going to write C++ program using the concept called classes and object. So today I am going to write first program using the concept called classes and object. So just I am going to recall once again what we discussed in the last session. Now we are able to identify what is a class, what is the object. Class contains data member functions. For those member functions we can write code in two ways, that is inside the class as well as outside the class, and those data member as well as a member function can be accessed with a operator called a dot operator. Okay, so this is the basic concept we discussed in the last class. Now let us see first program. First program, that is write a C++ program to accept, that is first simple program, write a C++ program to assign values to the data members of a class called date, and afterwards print it in a format. Means what is the given data? Here he says that we have to create a class called date, and afterwards that class contains data members. Means properties, data members means properties of class date as well as the member functions, means behaviors of class date. Now what we have to do means here, now we have to create a class called date with the data members. If date is the class, means data members may be day, month, year, right? So in the last session we written program segment on class date. The same thing now we have to take here. Let us see first. After declaring a data member, our task is to assign values to the data members and display it, right? Suppose date class contain day, month, year as the data members, means first we have to declare these data members and afterwards we have to assign values to the data member. Afterwards we have to print it. Let us see here. Right? Now I'm going to write next line here. See here, what I written here means I consider a class called date with data members day, month, year in public mode. I am going to tell you, just wait, why I written these things in public mode. Just wait. And now I am closing the class. This is called end of class declaration. How to end a class? With the semicolon. Next, void main function. This main function here, see here, object can be declared in a two-way, right? It will be the very first statement in a main program, or before going to close the class we have to declare object. But for this program I am declaring objects in the main program, main function. So main function where we have to declare, we discussed it in the last class, that is a very first statement in the main function. That's why after open curly bracket in the main function I declared an object called today. What is the command? Declaration of object today. What this date indicates? This date indicates the name of the class. Just recall the declaration of object syntax: class name space object name and with a semicolon, right? So this class name is student, means we have to take student space object name. Class name is rectangle, means we have to take rectangle space object name. Now the class is date, that's why I consider here date as class name space today is the name of the object. Now our aim is to assign values to the data member. Assign values to the data member. Data member are day, month, year. These are the data member. Now I have to assign value. Therefore I am assigning today dot day is equal to 28. Today dot month is equal to, means I am entering today's date, 28/8/2020, like this. So why you take under here today dot means last class we discussed how to access data members. Data members are accessed with the help of a operator called dot operator, right? Because this class is closed here. We are writing these data members in the main function, but in the main function these are not declared. They are declared in the class. Of which class? Date class. This date class has object today. So therefore one class, any class data members can be accessed with that class objects. So this class name is date. This class object is today. That's why with the help of this object it is possible to access data members. That's why to access this day, month, year, I am using one object called today because I declared here object as today. Therefore, today dot day is equal to 28. Today dot month is equal to 8. Today dot year is equal to 2020. Like this, here I am assigning values to data member. Suppose you are going to write day is equal to 28, month is equal to 8, year is equal to 2020, then it is not working. We get an error, that is undefined symbol day, month, year. Because in the main function we have not declared a day, month, year. These are declared in the above class. So how to access the data members of a class? Last class we studied. We can access the data members of a class with the help of a dot operator with object. So object of the class date is today. That's why I written here today dot day is equal to 28. Today dot month is equal to 8. Today dot year is equal to 2020. Now one part is over. Now we assign the values to the data member. Next thing is we have to print this assigned value. Means we have to print this state in a proper format. Means 28 8 2020 in this format, or else 28 8 2020, like this we have to print. So that's why just observe in the cout statement to get this thing purpose I used here cascading of cout statement. See here, now the data member value is assigned to the data member. Next step is cout today date is. Now I have to print this date, right? This enter the value, right? So cout today dot day. This today dot day contains 28. After 28 we need slash. That's why I written this slash, and afterwards I have to print 08 because 08 month in today dot month holds 08. To get there 08, I have to take today dot month. That's why I taken here today dot month. Next I need one more slash. That's why consider like this in a double quotation. And next, why I written here today dot year means year is assigned today dot year contains 2020. So to print this 2020, I am writing today dot year like this, and afterwards I am closing the main function. Like this we have to write a C++ program using classes and object concept. So this code or this program explains assigning the values to the data members and printing it. Assigning the values to the data members and printing it. Now just observe in this program, is it possible to write here instead of public? Is it possible to write private colon? Just think it. It is not possible. It is wrong. It is not possible. Right? It is not possible. We have to write public only. Why? Suppose we are writing here access specifier as a private, means those data member after that comes under private are accessible within the class only. But we are using these data members outside the class. Suppose we written here private means these day, month, year access access specifiers are not possible to use outside the class, but we are using assigning values outside the class. Suppose we are writing here private means we get an error. Not possible to access day, month, year because they are under private section. They are under private access specifier. That's why to avoid that we have to declare data access specifier as public. Now access specifier is public. So in this public access specifier, day, month, year data member comes. So now these are possible. Now it is possible to access these data members outside the class. Means in the main function we are using day, month, year, right? So to access data members outside the class purpose, we have to write here access specifier as public. If we declared access specifier as private means it is not possible to access those data members outside the class. That's why I taken here a data member as public. Right? Public means we studied in the study of basic concepts of OOP, that is data hiding. Suppose we are going to write here access specifier as public means these are accessible to outside the class. Means data hiding is not done. Suppose we must hide the data means we have to declare these things in private. So when we are going to declare data members as private, then data hiding is done, means they are not accessible outside the class. So this is one of the data hiding is one of the feature of OOP, right? So now we have to assign values to the data member. So means we have to use these things outside the class. Therefore we have to write public. In public only we have to declare this thing, right? And one more thing we can observe here, only data member is there, right? Here we are not seeing any member functions. But in generally what we are saying, class is a combination of data member function as well as objects. Here data member is there, object is there, but missing of member function, right? So to complete this task, that is assigning values to the data member and display purpose, we don't need any function, we don't need any member functions. That's why we are not considered any member function. If a necessity is there, then only we have to take member function or data member. It is not mandatory, but in generally a class means it contains data member as well as member functions with objects. Object may be, we can declare any number of objects. We discussed it in the last session, right? But to complete this work purpose, this work we need only one object. That's why I declared here only one object today, because with the help of this object only we are accessing these data members. So like this, depending on situations, we have to declare access specifier. Depending on situations, we have to consider member functions. Now let us see one more program, that is the same concept. That is, here you execute this program any number of times, you are getting the same result, that is 28/8/2020. 28/8/2020. Today date is 28/8/2020. You execute n number of times, you get the same answer, right? Because value is assigned. Whenever you are going to compile, you get the same thing. So that's why we can write this program in another way, that is for every execution time we must get a different date, means what we have to do? We have to enter manually. We have to enter day, month, year. Then we get different dates. Here there is no entering matter. Value is assigned. Therefore, entered assigned value is printing once. There is no need of any declaration of function. But accept date and print it means we have to take two more member functions. That is, one member function to accept date, another member function to display date. Right? Let us see that program. Second program, that is write a C++ program to accept a date from the user and display it in a proper format using class and object concept. Then let us see how the code is going to be changed. And just a minute, just I forgotten how this execution is flowing. So you see, we know from first year every program execution starts from main function, right? So when we are going to press Alt C, compile is done. If zero error means we have to press Alt R, then we get execution starts. Execution starts from main function. Here just declaration of object is there. Here data value is assigned to data member. Next cursor comes here. One cout statement is there. That's why the content of cout string is printing. Today date is. In front of that, one more cout statement is there. That is today.day. Today.day means it contains 28. Result will be, result of the program is today date is today.day. Today.day means it contains 28. Next, slash is there in double quotation, slash today.month. Today.month means 08 slash today.year. Today.year contains 2020. Like this we get result. Right? Now let us see second program. What is the second program? Write a C++ program to accept a date and print the date. Accept date from the user and display the date on the screen using object-oriented programming concept. Right? Means what is the difference here compared to last program? In the last program we assigned the values to the data member and we printed it. Now what we have to do? We have to consider the same class called date, but here we have to enter values of the data member and afterwards we have to print it. Means now we have to consider member functions. One member function to accept the date, another member function to display the date. Right? So just see how I am going to write code. Afterwards I am going to explain it. Class date. Class date. input date function. Here I am writing Cout enter the date in date month year, close the temper function. One more function, that is while display date. This display date function contains Cout enter date is. See here, just I written a display date function. Cout enter the date is. I am writing this side. Cout day day month year, closing of display function, closing of main class, end of class, void main function, date space today, object declaration, today dot input date function, today dot display date function, close input. See here, what I written in a class, I consider the data members. What are these? Data members. DMY means date, month, year. You take any variables. And in public section, I taken two functions: input data function to accept date, month, year; display date function to display the date, month, year. Okay, and this function is there for input date function purpose, and this code is there for display date function. And just this is what closing of display function, and this flower bracket and semicolon indicates end of class declaration. End of class declaration. Right? And the program, very first statement is to declaration of object. I am declaring here one object today, and next today dot input function means I am calling this input function with object. Then cursor goes this input function. You see here, these input and display functions are in public. It means these are accessible outside the class, right? So today dot input date function means cursor comes here. Here what is happening? One CO statement is there. Enter the date. I am entering day, month, year. That is going to be stored in this D, this M, and this Y. And afterwards, this function is closed. Cursor comes once again here in the main program, main function. Here, today dot display date function. Today dot display function means it goes to display function. What is happening in a display function? One CO statement is there. Enter the date is. It is printing D. D contains what? D contains what? Some value. 30/9/2020. So this 30/9/2020 is printing like this. 9 dash this year is 2020. Like this, result is printing. You can observe here, program explains how to accept a date and how to print a date, right? So just go through such programs and practice. In the next class we are going to discuss some more simple C++ programs using the concept called class and object. Thank you.